First of all, thank you for inviting me to speak today. It's truly a pleasure to be here, and what an amazing group of women that I'm getting to speak with today. So I hope I follow it up equally as well as both of the previous presenters did. But my name is Kristin daughter. I'm a dedicated wife, a working mom, scientist, project management professional, and a military veteran. I live in Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania. And really, I'm passionately pursuing my dream to help people and lead organizations to become more efficient, productive, and fulfilled. I currently work at Sanofi as an oncology medical program lead. I've been with Sanofi for almost 18 years now. The first 17 I actually spent in vaccines, and only most recently moved to oncology. And along with that, 9 of those 18 years, I also simultaneously served as an officer in the U.S. Army. So I've got a civilian career, a military career, and currently I am caring for my aging mother, who unfortunately is suffering from dementia. And with that, I voluntarily lead a caregiver employee support group at Sanofi. And I was recently awarded Team Member of the Year with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, their Student of the Year campaign. And a fun fact about me, I'm also an airborne paratrooper that is trained to jump out of military aircraft. So yes, I am a crazy person who jumps out of perfectly good airplanes. And with that, my mission is people, my motto is mission first and people always. And really recently, I completed a certification as a Discovery Insights practitioner at Sanofi. So what I'm going to talk to you about today is really 5 themes to incorporate into your leadership. And I put this picture on the screen today to kind of sum up my life. So I know we have an expression that says some people are born to lead. And truly in my life, that's been kind of the theme of my life. I've been very fortunate that I have had leadership opportunities throughout my life, and I've also naturally gravitated to those opportunities. So here I am, circa 1997, as between my junior and senior years of high school, I was receiving the top award as the cadet out of about 300 other cadets from various high schools across the country. I attended an ROTC camp. And that was really the beginning of my leadership opportunities throughout my life. Over those years, I've really learned a lot. I've grown a lot. And, you know, one of the things I'm here to do today is really to share with you some of those key takeaways so that hopefully you can leave today with some little nuggets of wisdom like you've heard from the previous speakers that you've heard from today. Next slide, please. So as I already mentioned, the world is littered with ideas on how to be a good leader. And today I will give you my collection of wisdom gathered over a lifetime of leadership experiences. And like I said, I hope you pick up some pearls of wisdom today. Next slide, please. So the 5 themes I really want to talk about, and what's funny is you will hear some common themes today, which is a good thing. I think all of our presenters are really aligned in what we're talking about today. But the 5 themes that I'm really going to focus on is to be real, to lead with authenticity. Number 2, find your passion so you can lead with purpose. Be respectful and resilient so you can lead with integrity. Be well so you can lead by example, and have a growth mindset to lead with humility. I put this quote on this slide because it says, if you have an ego problem, find a humble leader and ask them to be your mentor. And that's one of the overarching themes that I've really found in my life to be helpful, is always having a mentor or multiple mentors. And through my life, I have had multiple mentors. I still actually have the original mentor I have when I started my career at Sanofi 18 years ago. And I go to him often. And that's really helped me, you know, continue to grow, continue to learn, continue to understand, have a sounding board as I go along my path. Next slide. So be real. What does it mean to you to be an authentic leader? The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. I love this quote from Carl Jung. The certification that I recently went through is based on Carl Jung's psychology. And I really think this sums it up. As you go throughout your journey in life, it's really about embracing who you are, learning who you are, and growing within yourself. And I will be honest with you, I'm going to be real and authentic today. It took me until about 30 years old until I actually started really understanding myself. I was the child of an alcoholic father. He was abusive, and that kind of stunted my emotional growth, so to speak. My parents separated when I was a teenager, and that's actually when I found the military. So the military really helped guide me along the way. It gave me a beacon of hope, and it helped me kind of stay stable and grounded as a person. But it wasn't until my father passed away at 30, rather unexpectedly, when I was 30 years old, rather unexpectedly, that I was able to start kind of releasing that emotional trauma in my life and growing within myself and discovering and understanding myself. So it's really been a privilege to spend the last 10 to 12 years of my life learning and understanding myself and growing within myself. And I encourage all of you to really understand yourselves and to use any tools that you need to get there, be it a mentor, be it some personality tests. You can certainly get those. There's free personality tests online. However you want to get there, if you want to work with a coach, we had some wonderful coaches on the line today that we're hearing from. Learning about yourself and understanding yourself is going to help you relate to your outside world much better. So the first person you want to understand is yourself, and that helps you manage your external relationships as well. Next slide, please. Next slide. Can we go to the next slide? Thank you. Okay. So along with getting to know yourself, another key element, I think, is to find your passion. Finding your passion really helps you lead with purpose. For me, I can tell you very distinctly that my passion in life is really twofold. It's to serve others, to show up and serve others. I am a caregiver. I'm a caregiver by nature. So I really enjoy the opportunity to serve others and to help others on their journey in life. So again, it took me a long time to figure this out about myself, but once I did, it was like life clicked for me. And my life started to flow in a very meaningful direction, and everything started to align for me. And I will note this quote from Oprah Winfrey: "Passion is energy. Feel the power that comes from focusing on what really excites you." Think about it. If you discover what it is that truly lights you up in life, and you invest your energy there, the power that comes from that is truly amazing. And I've really felt that. And now everything that I do is about helping and serving others. In fact, coming here today and accepting the invitation to talk was about helping and serving others in ways that I can share my messages with you in hopes that you can learn from my experiences as well. So if you find your passion, you can really, change the narrative for yourself and lead with purpose in your life. Next slide, please. The next one is be respectful. So the first two themes are kind of about you and what's going on inside of you. The next one is about what's going on in the outside world. So being respectful is really about leading with integrity. And I love this quote from Albert Einstein. It says, "I speak to everyone in the same way, whether he is the garbage man or the president of the university." And one thing that really helped me through all the years I spent in the military and serving the country is I respected every person that I worked with, no matter what their rank was. And most especially, to be honest, I respected those that spent 20, 30 years in the enlisted ranks. Because everyone is a human being first. Every single one of us is a human being. And think about the problems we could solve if we just respected each other, period. Regardless of any other status, just respect each other because we're human beings and we have shared humility. So for me, this really has served me well in my life. I can remember being a young lieutenant, and we were on a training weekend together, and we were cleaning out the barracks in order to head home from the weekend. And that obviously, when we head home, we get to leave and go back and see our families. So that was the last step. And we were cleaning the barracks, and somebody needed to mop the floors. We were a little short-staffed, so I actually just grabbed the mop and started mopping. And someone looked at me and said, "Ma'am, that's not for you to do." And I said, "It's absolutely for me to do because we're a team here. And as long as we get this mission done, we can head home." So I just respected that we were all on the same ground. We needed to get the barracks cleaned in order to make our next step together. And that went really far. And that was something I carried with me along the way, is just to respect everybody, and regardless of their position, because we're all human beings first, and we need to treat each other with respect in order to care for each other. Next slide. And that leads me to my next topic, be well and lead by example. And I found this quote from Princess Diana. I think this sums it up really well. It says, "Every one of us needs to show how much we care for each other and in the process care for ourselves." And how many of you have flown on an airplane? Obviously, probably maybe before COVID. It's slowed down a little bit since then. But you've heard the expression, secure your own oxygen mask first. And this is a huge lesson for me, especially in recent years, as I became a wife and a mother, and my roles in life became greater, a caregiver for my own mother as well. It's very easy to get tapped out. As Tatiana talked about, the stress compounds. And before we know it, we're in a stressful situation and we're not bringing our best selves. So the first thing you need to do is establish your own boundaries of how you're going to take care of yourself. For me, there's a couple different elements. There's physical health, there's emotional health, there's mental health, there's spiritual health. So what are you doing? What are the steps that you're taking to fill your tank? For me, the mention was made of the 5 a.m. club from Lakita earlier. I also read that book last year and I highly recommend it. But what that taught me was get up and fill your tank first. Even if that means getting up early before your children, your husband, the rest of your house wakes up, get up and fill your tank first. Because if we come from a place where our tank is full, we have more to give to others. It allows us to be more present. It allows us to be more composed. It allows us to really enter the day with a positive mindset and let our energy flow in the direction we want it to flow. So really, if there's one thing you could take away from today, if you don't have a practice by which you take care of yourself purposefully each day, really work on setting that up for yourself, figuring out what that is. What do you need to do? For me, I do 20-minute workouts. I make it efficient. I have a toddler. I don't have a lot of time. I'm a busy work from home mom, but I make it work. I do 20-minute workouts. I do 5-minute meditations. I do a couple minutes to reflect, and then I start my day. So you can make it work for you. It doesn't have to fit any certain mold. But whatever you do, just take time to care for you so you can care for others more effectively. Next slide, please. So with that, I would love to know in the chat what your favorite theme is and what your key takeaway is for today. And I'll leave you with this last thought. When you kind of weave all these things together in your life and your life feels more fulfilled, and you are a more present leader for, whomever you're working with. There is an inner beauty about a woman who believes in herself, who knows she's capable of anything that she puts her mind to. There is a beauty in the strength and determination of a woman that follows her own path, who isn't thrown off by obstacles along the way. Tatiana, a good example. There is a beauty about a woman whose confidence comes from experiences, who knows she can fall, pick herself up, and move on. If you put all these themes into action and into work in your life, you are going to flourish as a human being, and the person that you show up with is going to be the person that you are aiming to be in your life. Next slide, please. So with that, I'll leave it with one final thought. Let's sum this up. So where are we going here? Your roadmap for successful leadership. Be authentic. Find your passion to lead with purpose. Lead with integrity. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself first. Secure your own oxygen mask. Then worry about everybody else. It'll make you a better leader for sure. Never stop learning and growing. Actually, I think we missed that slide. Can we go back a couple slides? Apologies. We missed a slide and I didn't pick up on it until just now. The fifth theme for my talk today is have a growth mindset and lead with humility. I picked up this quote from Dr. Seuss because I think the quote and the picture really go well together. The more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go. Dr. Seuss sums it up pretty perfectly there. And it also, makes me think of the Yellow Brick Road and heading down that Yellow Brick Road. Lakita mentioned it earlier today, a bunch of books that she recommends. Think about incorporating those books into your what you're doing to fill your tank each day. Because the more that you read, the more that you take in, the more that you understand yourself, the more you're going to become that authentic and real leader that you want to be. And the more that you're going to embrace your path in life. And you're going to help others join you and embrace their own paths as well. So with that, we can head back to the summary slide. Thank you. And the last bullet there then is never stop learning and growing. So it all kind of ties together, learning who you are, learning what your passion is. If you're learning and growing and learning about yourself, you're able to show up with more integrity. You're able to respect others more appropriately. And you're able to take a step back and take a breath and take care of yourself and put that into practice as well. Next slide, please. That ends the formal part of my talk for today. And thank you again for inviting me to talk. It was truly a pleasure, and I'm glad to share this opportunity with you today. My contact information is on the slide, and I'm happy to address any questions.
Well, thank you so much for that wonderful presentation, Kristin. Yes, everyone, please keep those questions coming into the chat. And of course, I'll say it again. If anybody would like to ask Kristin a live question, you can raise your hand and I can unmute you. So let's start. I know we've had a couple of comments about this, but Kristin, we'll direct it to you. Kristin, any tips on finding your confidence when you're the only woman in the room?
Finding your confidence when you're the only woman in the room. This obviously has happened for me a lot as a woman in the military. And I think it goes back to really understanding yourself, and knowing what you're capable of. Because if you know what you're capable of, if you know what your competence is, I always try to lean into who I am as much as possible. That really helps you put yourself forward in that room. Whether you're sitting in, a table of mixed genders or a table of men. I obviously spent a lot of time with male leaders. So just understanding myself and knowing what I'm capable of helped me go really far and be able to stand on my own 2 feet, no matter, who I was standing with.
Well, wonderful. Thank you.
Mhm.
So our next question is from Cassie. How did you find your lifelong mentor?
Oh, that's a great question. Um, Honestly, it was very much by accident. I was in my first role in pharma. And there was just someone that I clicked with. We became friends, and he was training me on some software that we were using in the role at the time. We had very shared values, in common. And we clicked. We clicked on a personal level. We clicked on a professional level. And to this day, I still keep in touch with him. He actually is recently relocated to Florida with his wife. And my husband and I were there back in February and spent some time with them. And it was great to reconnect in person because we hadn't seen each other for a while. But, he became a friend, and then he became a professional mentor. And he was the one who actually taught me. And I can't say that at the time it really sunk in as much as it does today, but he was the one who taught me to look out for yourself first. I had my first opportunity to switch jobs within Sanofi. I was really fearful about switching jobs because of the people that I was leaving behind. And he taught me to really look out for yourself first, because you're the only person who's looking out for you. And you need to be your own best advocate. And that is really something that has stuck with me over the years. And I know, this is getting a little bit deeper than the question, but, um, just find somebody who is on the same page with you, who shares common values with you, and somebody who can be honest with you. That's really, really key, is somebody who can get down at your level and be honest with you, and be able to talk to both your positive and negatives, and help you guide you along your path.
Well, thank you. All right, well, I think we'll go with one more question, and then we'll ask you for some final thoughts before we move on to our panel discussion. And this question says, how can I encourage the women on my team to support each other? We're in sales, and it feels like I'm competing all day.
Oh my goodness. Oh goodness. That's a loaded question, and I'm not sure that I even am the best person to speak to that one. The I'm actually very fortunate. So the team that I currently lead at work, there's not competition at all. They all lead different programs, and they all work very, very, very well together as a team. But what I would say is, find a common thread if you can. If that means doing a team building activity, and kind of breaking it down. It's like going in the military, getting everybody on the same page, on the same level, and realizing that at the end of the day, they're all similar. They have something in common. That would be my best suggestion, is to take the time out to step away from work if you can, and do some sort of a team building activity where you can get everybody to just be on the same level together, and level set yourselves. And I think that would build some more of a collaborative spirit versus a competition.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your wonderful presentation today. And as we move to our panel, do you have any final words of wisdom for our listeners today?
Final words of wisdom are just, really learn to embrace who you are. Learn to be proud of who you are. Embrace who you are. Lean into who you are. And the more you listen to, yourself, your personal feedback, the more that you're going to find success as a leader.
Well, thank you so much for your time today.
You're welcome. Thank you.